Of course, as soon as the Quest 3 comes out, Qualcomm has already told us they're about to unveil a new XR chip even faster than the one in the Quest 3. They're saying their next XR chip could be unveiled in early 2024. This is a chip that would be used to power high-end headsets like the ones we've heard about from Samsung and LG. The VP of XR over at Qualcomm talks about in an article saying that they can't reveal the details, but they are collaborating with Samsung and LG, and that they're involved in the headset sector, and they're seeing Samsung make a lot of progress since the announcement of the collaboration with Qualcomm and Google. We covered that here previously on the news when Qualcomm, Samsung, and Google announced they were partnering to develop an MR headset, and we've talked before too about how Samsung has upped the specs on their headset after they saw what Apple was going to be introducing in their Apple Vision Pro. It's unknown at this time if this would be a Gen 3 of the Snapdragon 8 that we've already seen, or if this would be based on their Snapdragon X, which is actually intended for laptops. And of course, this adds more fuel to the fire of rumors about how Meta is working on another potential successor to the Quest Pro, something that would actually compete with Apple's headset, but continue to work on Qualcomm's chips. What do you think about this? Of course, the tech industry has to keep moving forward, but I would like just a minute to be happy with the processor I already have in my Quest 3 and not thinking about what's next. We've got a Quest 3 giveaway going on right now to thank all of you for showing up and supporting the channel. If you didn't know about that, there'll be a link at the end of the video. Also, this weekend, we're going to be unveiling a secret giveaway. A major PCVR headset manufacturer has offered to let us give away one of their PCVR headsets. A high-end PC headset. I can't wait to unveil what it's going to be for all of you on Sunday, so keep an eye out on that. But in the meantime, if you haven't entered that Quest 3 giveaway, make sure you enter that too. Again, this is just to say thank you so much for showing up, supporting the channel. October was our biggest month we've ever had. Thank you, thank you. Speaking of all of your support over the last year, we actually got an honorable mention by the VR Awards towards VR Content Creator of the Year. Now, they did implement some new rules this year, one of being a subscriber size of above 60,000, which thanks to all of you, we are very close to 60,000, but it is truly an honor to be dropped in this list of honorary mentions with all kinds of names on there, people we know like VR with Jasmine, Sadly It's Bradley, J-Man Curly, Havey147, Gamertag, and so many more. This year, as far as the actual voting, if you want to go vote for VR Content Creator of the Year, the options are VR Oasis, Tyrell Wood, The Mystical, Thrill Seeker, The VR Show, Nazy, Nathy, Mateo, Get Hip, Cass and Cherry, BMF VR, and Beardo Benjo. If you want to head over, I'll leave a link down in the comments and in the description if you want to go vote for your favorite creator of the year up there. And of course, as we are an honorable mention, you can't vote for us, but it was really exciting to be on this list and mentioned among them. So thank you once again to all of you for bringing us to this point. You're just amazing. If you don't know what MetaQuest Plus is, this is a service similar to like PlayStation Plus, where you get to pay a subscription fee and then they choose 2 games for you every month. As long as you continue that subscription, you get to keep those games and always play them. It's something I've mentioned before on the channel. I don't really recommend this for people who have been experienced in VR or have a lot of games in their library already, as you may likely have some of the games they choose. But for people who are new to the Quest 3 and just got it, it may be interesting for you to actually do this to rack up some games and help fill out that library. We just found out November's games are going to be NFL Pro Era, the first one, not the second one that did launch recently, and Angry Birds VR Isle of Pigs. NFL Pro Era is a popular choice, first officially licensed NFL VR game. Angry Birds, I could take it or leave it, but we have seen in the past some really good games that have come up for Quest Plus subscribers, including some of my favorites like Walkabout Mini Golf and Pistol Whip. Unfortunately, you don't get the games from beforehand, and if you were someone who got the 512GB model, you actually are getting a free 6-month Quest Plus subscription anyways. If you are interested to check it out, Quest Plus costs $8 per month or $60 annually. Again, I would say it's really only good for people who are new to VR and are looking to rack up some games and want to pay that lower price. And if you're interested in trying more VR games and helping shape the future of VR, Impact Labs has called out they are looking for playtesters. We'll leave a link in the description in the top comment over in case you want to go check this out, but basically they are looking for people who are willing to play games, help analyze them, find issues and bugs, and help shape the future of these VR games. These are not paid positions, but playtesters do get to keep the games they test. They get to be trying games ahead of the curve before people even get to try them at launch. They obviously get those games for free, but this is not for someone who just wants to go collect games. These are for serious people who are going to really look into games, need to be observant, detail-oriented, and articulate in expressing your feedback. If you're interested, you apply on the site. There's about 11 questions, and then they may reach out to you to interview you for a spot on this. It's really cool. I've helped games before with giving feedback, although I've never been like a direct play tester, especially through a company like Impact Reality and Impact Labs. But if it's something you're interested in, I would say definitely go apply. Speaking of getting to test games before release, Meta is actually making it easier for developers now to share their pre-release apps and their closed betas via just a URL. Now, if you haven't tried a pre-release app, it was a bit convoluted. The developer had to whitelist your actual email address that was attached to your Meta account. You had to be able to log into that Meta account through the email they sent you. So if you're like me and you've had multiple accounts that aren't all linked correctly, as you've had to switch from a Facebook account to a Meta account from an Oculus account originally, this is about to make it a lot easier. Not only does this make it easier for each individual, but this means if they want to have multiple playtesters, they could just post the URL somewhere like Discord, and they can either manually approve every person or automatically approve everyone who uses that link. Now, there are some limits. There's only going to be 100 total users that can have access to a build channel at once. Then apps that aren't approved for App Lab or the actual Meta store could only have up to 3 build channels, meaning there's about 300 maximum people for an unreleased app. Although this means they can't obviously let thousands of people into playtest at once, it's still a lot easier than tracking down each individual email address and sending them out to each person. This is an example of what I like to see. They kept saying at MetaConnect they wanted to make things easier on developers, and this seems like a step in the right direction. We talked last week about how it was reported by an Apple analyst that Apple had cut full body tracking from the Vision Pro years ago due to not being able to make it reliable. Now, Bloomberg is reporting that Apple may still be trying to perfect it, but for post-launch, looking for full body tracking, including legs, to help enable more fitness apps. Now, of course, as usual, Apple hasn't given us any confirmation of this, but we have heard of other workout apps potentially hinting to or talking about being on the Apple Vision Pro, including the one that we talked about that's trying to now sue Meta for killing off their app just before MetaConnect over the rumors that they heard that they were in talks with Apple. It seems like with the recent updates that the Quest has been able to pull off in testing with full body tracking through the Quest 3 tracking your shoulders, arms, and elbows, and then using generative legs to try and track where your legs are going. It does seem like this should be fully possible with all of the sensors in the Vision Pro. There's also been talks of how they might be able to pair out the Apple Watch to help use for tracking. Personally, I'm getting tired of talking about the Vision Pro and just wishing it would come out so that we could get some official actual footage and see how people are using it. Hopefully a few more months to wait. Pico headsets may not still be available easily to get in the US, but if you don't know, Pico was actually acquired by ByteDance, which is the Chinese tech giant behind TikTok. In an unsurprising move, now they're dropping a TikTok app on the Pico 4. Although this is not much of an integration for VR outside of just being the actual 2D regular Android phone app, it does have all of the same functionality as the regular app. Might be a decent way for people who have Pico headsets to watch TikTok, but it'll be interesting to see will they start to offer more services like streaming directly to TikTok through the Pico, and what else it might be capable of. Now that the Quest 3 is out, a lot of people have discovered how you can use hand tracking to touch the menus and swipe up and down. Now we're seeing HTC Vive XR Elite system adding touch mode beta, similar to what we're used to now on the Meta Quest. We haven't talked about the XR Elite a whole lot since its launch. People said it was very spendy and some of the reviews were not great after it came out, although it's still one of the only modern headsets to have diopter adjustment so that people who need glasses normally can actually adjust the lenses to their own prescription inside of the headset and not have to wear glasses inside of it. And speaking of HTC, they are also going to be sending a VR headset to space. It's not unusual to see multiple different types of headsets being used in astronaut training, including Vario's high-end headsets, but now HTC wants to send headsets up to actually help with the mental health of astronauts. Imagine being in space where you don't have day or night cycles and being able to use VR as your day and night cycle, or to be able to come back to Earth and travel around Earth and see your home. Some interesting case uses for VR, and I love to see more and more uses for it even outside of the realm of gaming. But what out there has you excited this week? As a lot's going on in the news. As we said earlier, super excited that we got an honorable mention for VR Influencer of the Year award. It's absolutely amazing. So thank you everybody again for everything, and I will see you in another reality.